Harvard University, AICITE, Google, TDRA Dubai, Government of Saudi Arabia, Government of India, and a lot more. He has published more than 150 research articles. He was associated with L&T Technology Services before joining in the current role with an Intel. Sriram Vasudev runs a YouTube channel in his name, which has more than 43,000 subscribers and maintains a wide range of playlists on varied topics. Dr. Sriram is a public speaker too. He is one API certified instructor, Google Cloud Ambassador, Streamlined Education Ambassador, AWS Ambassador, ACM Distinguished Speaker, and NASCOM Prime Ambassador. Sriram is a fellow IEI, fellow IETE, and senior IEEE member. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. That was a nice introduction. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Ashish ji. Without your pull, this would not have happened. And we are always happy to be part of this kind of conferences. And I trust that this is the best way we can get academia connected to industry. And we will always be really delighted to be part of this kind of initiatives. Right. So thank you very much once again. Let me share my screen. I hope you will be able to see whatever I'm going to share. So it's going to be a very simple session. I'm not going to make much of new topics for you. It's going to be very interesting, as well as simple things I'm going to talk about. But at the same time, some information would be really new for you in terms of availability of the resources for you to learn things. And most importantly, can we access these kind of stuff? Are we really having it? Can we learn things this simpler way? That could be the question that I'm trying to answer. Right, today it will be done. So my agenda is very simple. It's going to be starting with a very simple 15 minutes intro on what is LLM, what is the connection between LLM and Gen AI, and then I'll quickly talk about stable diffusion. Then I'll go to Intel Developer Cloud, which is free for you. I'll show you the ways to register and how do you learn things through the Intel Developer Cloud, where I'll also show you some examples. I'll generate some fun content for you. Then I can take up any questions if you have, and there it will end. So that's a very simple agenda I have created for today. And I'll also share with you the email ID and the links that you need to follow towards registration process. And all what I'm telling needs no credit card, debit card, or no monetary registrations are required. It's all going to be easy. And most importantly, right, all of them comes with a lot of resources. So that's the best thing that I would like to share with you today. And once again, thanks to all the organizers. Dr. Ashish ji has been following me up for quite a long time, and it's really prestigious for us to be here today. And let's get into the content right away. It's going to be very simple understanding that you need to draw first. We have got the bigger circle, it's called AI. That was the only circle that we started seeing in the beginning. Then came the machine learning. Okay, I'm going to do some tasks repeatedly, which may not really require a lot of human intervention and thought process. So there I will come with machine learning. And then came deep learning as the innermost circle, where we need to use neurons and neural networks to decide. For example, I need to identify if a fruit is rotten or not. So I will take the fruit, I will check it up in all the possible directions. I will press and I'll find it. I'll use my neurons to understand all these things. So this is essentially deep learning for you. Whenever you are using neural networks, we call it deep learning. And then came the Gen AI. Yes, Gen AI is a revolution. It's 100% revolution. We are generating content so easily these days, and it doesn't require you to really put in a lot of pressure, as in how do you generate, where do you generate, where do we go for generation. All these things are very simple, and they have made it really very easy. And I'm going to show you the complete guidelines as in how do we go about it, and I'll generate some content for you. And if I overshoot time, let me know 5 minutes in advance so that I can complete it properly, the coordinator. But otherwise, I don't think I will overshoot. So we are getting into first the Gen AI saga, and it's going to be very easy for you to understand. Let's get into it right away. Just give me a second. In depth, before we go to the advantages, challenges, the types of LLMs, we need to understand the definition of LLM. A large language model refers to a type of artificial intelligence model that is designed to understand and generate human-like text. That's all. We are going to generate human-like text using LLM, and it is an AI solution. That's it. These models are built using variety of deep learning techniques, and particularly you must have heard of something like transformers in the past, and we are using transformers here to build these models.
This uses a lot of deep learning techniques, predominantly something like transformers are used here. The key feature of the large language models is their ability to process and generate spontaneously the natural language text with very high degree of coherence, most importantly without missing the context, and it is capable of generating all these real time. So what is LLM? Simple, it is an evolution of AI which will help you in generating the human-like text after understanding your question, and it gives you reply in the spontaneous way, and most importantly, it understands your questions very well. It uses deep learning techniques. That's all. This is called LLM. Now, having understood the definition, we need to go a little deeper. Is LLM really complex? It is. The answer is it really is. The large language models are trained on real massive amounts of text data. And from that only the learning happens. The grammar, the semantics, and even more, the level of common sense reasoning is also included as part of this. And yes, it is a real complex stuff. They can be used for a variety of natural language processing tasks, which include the text generation, the language translation, the sentiment analysis, the question answering, summarization, and many more. So it is a real complex stuff. One of the very well-known examples of LLM is OpenAI's GPT. GPT is nothing but generative pre-trained transformer. GPT-3 you must be very aware of, or you must have already heard of it. So that's the best example that you can pull in here. These models have billions of parameters, very huge amount of parameters, which enable them to generate fantastic human-like text across a wide range of topics and styles. It can talk about anything. ChatGPT, when you pick up, when you ask questions, any area, any domain, any sector, it is able to give us reply. So that's what we mean here. But there are some limitations that are available here. There are some limitations which we need to consider, which are to be carefully handled. That's going to be discussed as well in this session. What are the applications of LLMs? Natural language understanding. That's the first one. LLMs can understand and interpret the human language. Like it's going to be a very valuable tool for tasks like sentiment analysis, intent recognition, extracting information from the text, and many more. Text generation. LLMs can really be very useful and they can generate coherent and contextually very relevant text, making it very useful for the task of text generation. And it can help you in content creation, creative writing, automatic summarization, and more. Language translation is another area where LLMs are finding a great use. LLMs can be used and fine-tuned for specific languages, enabling accurate and efficient language translation services. This is going to be very easy, and this reduces the human effort that we need to put in towards the task. Building chatbots and virtual assistants can be done much more easier, much more accurate, and much more friendlier way using the LLMs. The information retrieval is another area or sector where LLMs can really help in retrieving the relevant information from such a huge volume of data set, making it very useful for all of us. Content recommendation is another area where LLM has a paramount contribution. LLM can analyze the user preferences, the behaviors to provide personalized content recommendation. That's very important. Personalized content recommendation, enhancing the user experiences on the platforms like social media and streaming services. The data analysis is also a very important area where LLMs can contribute. It can help you in understanding unstructured text data, enabling you and the organization to gain the insights which are very actionable as well. And it can be helpful in gaining insights from the heavy text resources. It is going to be very helpful for you to generate and to understand the data, even if the data is so big. For example, the customer reviews, the social media posts, the research papers, you can analyze all this. So it's going to be really easy for you. Automatic summarization should not be missed. It's one of the very important areas. LLMs can really summarize long text or articles, making it very easy for you to understand as summarized data. It can get you quick points, and it's going to be really helpful for you to understand a larger article within a short frame of time without missing the crux of it. Language generation for games. LLMs can be used to generate the dialogues, the narratives, and most importantly, interactive contents for video games and simulations. This is one area which is growing a lot. Accessibility. LLM can assist individuals with disabilities. This is one research area which is growing tremendously. It can help the people with some disabilities to convert the text into speech or generating text from spoken language, and it can increase the accessibility for the people who needs it the most. Rapid prototyping is possible with LLM. It can help you in getting the prototype really very quickly and generate drafts of documents which can further be refined by the human writers. And finally, last but not the least, research assistance. LLM can really aid the researchers by providing summaries of research articles, suggesting the literature, and most importantly, assisting in information collection. The toughest task for a person who is writing a research article is to understand where do we get the relevant literature. LLM can help you in that. So that's going to be really interesting. Do we have only advantages? Do we have only features that are to be uploaded? Do we have any limitations? Do we need to be careful with something? Yes, we have to look into that aspect as well. First point is bias and fairness. LLMs can inherit biases present in the training data. It is based on the training data. So based on the training data, it could lead to biased or unfair outputs. And the results that are given, if it is biased, you have to be careful in analyzing it and choose the best one for you. Contextual understanding is something that we need to look into it. LLMs can understand context to a greater extent, but they can still struggle with understanding ambiguous context. So that could lead to results which are not really accurate. That's one thing which we need to look into. Lack of common sense. LLMs are really good. They are growing. Even common sense perspective, it is growing. For an instance, LLM may lack true understanding of common sense reasoning, which can result in generating nonsensical answers, which is to be definitely considered. Data privacy. Training LLMs require massive amounts of data. The moment you call about the massive amounts of data, the concerns are connected to it following it with respect to the user privacy, specifically sensitive information or any personal information. Overgeneration. LLMs can sometimes overreact. They can produce excessive or repetitive or irrelevant content also at times. Dependency on training data. That's another very important aspect that we need to really look into. LLMs heavily rely on the data they are getting trained from. So if the training is wrong, the results could be obviously not good. So if a specific topic or a type of language is underrepresented in the training data, the model's performance will definitely suffer. Misinformation and fake content is another aspect. LLMs can inadvertently generate misinformation or fake content, which can as well be harmful. Fine-tuning challenges are also there when it comes to LLM. High computational resources are required for the developers to build LLM-based engines. A lack of true understanding is the next very important concern that we have. LLMs generate text based on the patterns in the data, but they may not truly understand the content in the way you and I do. The humans do. Topic drift. LLMs may gradually shift away from the intended topic during the longer interactions. You could have felt this in your probably in your previous experiences, and this could lead to trouble. Ethical and content control. It's very difficult and challenging to ensure the ethical content generation and also controlling the type of the content which is generated by LLM. So you will have to be really careful that it should not get you inappropriate or harmful content. Extrapolation errors are also there. Environmental impact. The significant computational resources that we are using, the large amount of computational resources that we are using, which are required to train and to run the large language models, definitely is going to contribute to the environment in a negative way. We have to be careful about that. These are all the challenges that we have. Now, types of LLMs. We have two types of LLMs that we are going to discuss right now: base LLM and instruction tuned LLM. Well, let's understand the base LLM, which is the first type. A base LLM refers to the foundational or the original or the basic version of the LLM. These models are generally trained on a massive amount of text data, and often these are taken from internet or other similar resources. The primary function or task that base LLM meets is to predict the next word in the given context. Next word prediction is the predominant work that we use base LLM for. The results that you are being presented with for predicting the next word or the next consecutive stuff is based on the training that you are giving and is based on the vast amount of data that you have used towards the training, and those data resources can be from the internet or other similar resources. Now I am posting a question. Sachin Tendulkar is a great cricketer and the next line is to be predicted. The answers can be Sachin Tendulkar is a great cricketer from India. Sachin Tendulkar is a great cricketer in the world cricket. Sachin Tendulkar is a great cricketer and he is the greatest of all time. So it can be anything. So the result that I'm posting can be anything, and that's based on the previous data training that you have given, and that's based on the amount of sources, amount of internet resources, amount of sources, whatever you have used to train. It's based on the historically available content which you have used for training. Now, there is another point that you need to understand. When I ask a question, what is the capital of India? At times, it may not give me the right result exactly as New Delhi. Instead, it can even throw a result which can be another question. That's all based on the popular articles on the internet, the training that you have done, the data that you have used towards training. So, this base LLM need not give you the exact result that you are anticipating. For example, in this case, what is the capital of India? When I throw the question, it can throw a question back to you. That could be because we have been dependent on the data sources. That way, base LLMs may not be able to give you the exact result. The LLMs might be using a set of question answer pool or quiz questions for answering that question is the main reason behind these kind of behaviors. So, base LLM need not give you 100% perfect result is the point that I am trying to convey. It can get you results which could be slightly different as well from your expectation, from the correct results. Well, instruction tuned LLMs is the next one. These models are designed to follow instructions a bit more accurate. It's going to be more accurate for you. They begin with the base LLM and are fine tuned. The word fine tuned is included here. And they are fine tuned with more input output pairs that include instructions and attempts to follow that instructions. This is more driven through the instruction based thing. So you will get better results, and reinforcement learning from the human feedback is used here. Reinforcement learning is something that is going to help you in getting the system uplifted. It's going to learn, evolve, all those things. But from where? But from the human feedback. That's going to be used here, and that's going to help you in refining the model further. And this is going to be also helpful in getting the model built in a helpful, honest, harmless, and a very meaningful way. So instruction tuned LLM are often based on the reinforcement learning from the human feedback. That's the point that you need to understand. So the instruction tuned LLMs are less likely to generate problematic text or irrelevant results or harmful results, and it will be more suitable for you to go ahead and to use for much more practical applications. A real good amount of research is going on with the LLMs. Yes, let's take instruction tuned LLM, and I'm going to take a simple question here. What is the capital of India? And the result would be the capital of India is New Delhi. Now, how is it possible here? They begin with the base LLM and it gets fine tuned further with input output pairs that include instructions and attempts to follow those instructions. So this is called evolution, good attempts to follow those instructions, and further they are getting fine tuned every time, refined every time, and that's what is called as reinforcement learning from the human feedback. So the latest evolution, the instruction tuned LLMs are basically dependent on the reinforcement learning from the human feedback, and that will make the system better, and that's going to give you much more better output. Also, instruction tuned LLMs will be generating the results which are going to be much more honest, harmless, and it will be ethically stronger as well. So the way things are going, LLMs are going to get us much more good things, and we will all be using it in near future. The best practices of instruction tuned LLMs are to be discussed as well. If you are unclear about the specifics of the instruction, say for example, if you want to know about Sachin Tendulkar, add an extra text to make it specific. For example, instead of just typing Sachin Tendulkar, you should say Sachin Tendulkar career statistics. That's all. You have to be very clear about the tone of the conversation as well. You want to be professional or you want to be casual, or how do you want the tone to be? You can even tell the LLMs that, you can tell the engines that I want the reply to be a little more professional because I need to forward it to people. right? And give LLMs time. It may need time at times to think, and it might not be really as quick as we expect. So let it take time for generation of answers. These are all the things that we need to really think about when we are getting into LLMs. So instruction tuned LLMs and the base LLMs, we have discussed this. Let's take a very simple example before we go on with concluding the session. We will take a college graduate as an example. The college graduate, when he is coming into the college, he is like a base LLM. He has got some knowledge, but he might not know the specific. But by the time he goes to the third year or the final year, he would have gotten a lot of knowledge, insights, inputs from other people, professors, friends, peers, and by then he would be able to get better knowledge and know-how on specific topic. So with experience, with knowledge, with learning, with continuous learning, it becomes instruction tuned LLM. The college students, when they come in into the colleges, they may not have that specificity. So that's very important to understand.
All right, if you see that clearly, you could have now understood what is LLM, how the journey is moving around, what are all the kind of plus and minus which are revolving around LLMs. And now it is time for us to go ahead and understand how do we learn all this? Where do we get the resources for learning all this? I have discussed all this and I hope you understand the differences. And now, please understand, generative AI has grown in such a way that the very famous photo editing company, right? You must be knowing the company name. I don't want to tell that. It has got 43,000 plus employees, which is doing a lot of work on photo editing, photo enhancements, all those things. But Midjourney, a generative AI company with just 11 employees, is capable of doing all this stuff with the same vigor, and that's possible through Gen AI. So that's the way things are moving. Things are moving at a very rapid pace in such a way that things can get better, faster, and it can support you as well parallelly. So this is one thing that I wanted to highlight here. So 43,000 plus to 11. That's the way things are moving. There are two types of AI available. So generally, when you talk about models available, generally when you talk about it, one is called discriminative model, another one is called generative model. I have discussed very clearly what are the Gen AI stuff, but this is a very important point. So please remember and please recollect it as well after the session. Discriminative model is something where I feed an input and it classifies what is what. I have trained the system with say 10 and 20s of thousands of maybe cat images and dog images, and I send a new input image, and the system discriminates the input image as a cat or dog. That's all. But generative model, I am feeding in thousands of images for training, and when I give a prompt, it should generate a new image for me. New cat image should be generated for me, and that's called generative models. That's all. There is where generative AI comes into picture, and I'm going to show you something of that sort, which is called stable diffusion. Stable diffusion is one of such models which is already available. We can use it and we can generate very creative content. It can be very creative in terms of you feeding in input, and that will generate based on the inputs prompt, it will generate a very creative image for you. For example, here if you see this, there is a prompt that is being sent in into the stable diffusion model, which says that a photo of an astronaut riding on a horse in the Mars. Stable diffusion model will be able to generate it. And you need not just do it, you can also go a step ahead where you can tell that I will feed a prompt as an input. In addition to it, I'll also give a picture as an input, combine these two together and generate a new image. Simple. So the input is a zombie running through woods, and I have added a picture as another input. Now the stable diffusion generates a new image for me that's based on my prompt input plus my image that I have fed in. This is what stable diffusion is capable of doing. Sir, where will I get this? How will I learn this? And this is going to be very, very simple for you. And I will show you all those things right now. Let's see that right away. Let me open things for you. Just give me a second. So we have something called as Intel Developer Cloud, right? Intel Developer Cloud. Sir, how do we register, sir? Is it paid? All those questions will be answered right now. Now you need to just go to console.cloud.intel.com for the registration process. I'm telling you, it will take not more than 1 minute. What you need is all 1 minute for you to complete this process of registration. Console.cloud.intel.com. So when you go into this, it will prompt you to register if you have not already registered. Otherwise, it will ask you to log in. Now you can see that there is a create account option. So you can see that the create an account option is very clearly visible. I hope yeah. So you can type your email ID. This is the only detail that you are feeding in. Email ID, first name, last name. Followed by that, you can set your password options. That's all. Once you do that, you will get an email with the verification code, which you can use to create your account. And when you create your account, it has to be free to your account. That's it. There are paid options available, but you do not have to really go with that for the learning purposes. So I am typing the details here, console.cloud.intel.com. That's all. This is the link that you need to go get the account registered. That's it. It's a 1 minute work and not more than that. Once you register, what will happen here is you will be able to get into the world of Intel Cloud Console, which is very easy for you to access. Very, very easy for you to access. This is the Cloud Console, what we have. We call it console. So every cloud service will have a console, as you know, and this is one of the best that we can say. In this, we have got hardware catalog available, which lists down the available hardware options for you. All these are the available hardware options for you, and you can use them. But they may have to, the user may have to pay if you need these resources. The free resources are available, which you can explore right now, with which also you can learn, try out things. Now I'm talking about GenAI. How do we learn GenAI? Because many people may not have access to this kind of resources. So we have created content, and that content is available in front of you, and you can start learning even the simplest of the AI content like machine learning using one API that is available for you. And GenAI, when you come in, you've got tutorials available for you in front of you, and I'm going to take one such example here, right? So please see this here. I am just clicking it. There is a launch button which you can see that will launch the Jupyter Notebook for you. 99% of us are familiar with Jupyter Notebook, isn't it? We are all familiar with Jupyter Notebook, and we have integrated the Jupyter Notebook into the cloud. That's all. We have integrated the Jupyter Notebook into the Intel Developer Cloud. What more is there, sir? I will walk you through that right now. It may need half a minute for me to get it completely loaded, and once it is done, I'll be able to show you all this. Sir, is it free? Yes, I repeat it. This is free for you to register and to try. So the moment you get it right, the moment you log in into the Intel Developer Cloud, it will be like this. Now, please see a plus button here. This plus button is called as the launcher. This launcher is a beautiful option which helps you to set up the environment. What do you mean by that, sir? I am going to work on TensorFlow for CPU. I need to just click this button and automatically the TensorFlow kernel is set up, and you can see that here in the right corner. So I'll show you that for you. You can see that here the kernel setup is TensorFlow. And if you want to work on, say, PyTorch for GPU, just click this button and the environment that is set up is PyTorch. So what is the benefit here, sir? Very simple. You need not type anything. You are not going to type anything. You are not going to do a pip install, that, this, anything. That's going to be very easy for you. So all these complete environment details are available here, and you can go ahead and set it. That is available in the launcher. This is one thing I wanted to tell you. Second thing is, when you go scroll further in this launcher, you've got a terminal available here. This terminal is your Linux machine. So uname -a, sorry, I made a mistake. Uname -a. You can see that here, this is a Linux machine which is available as a VM for you, and you can make your students learn Linux operating systems. You can go ahead and shell programming. The operating system related concepts, all those can be parallelly tried using this. This is going to be a great, great resource for you. So this will be very easy for you to learn as well. Now, let me come to the core topic of GenAI. You can see that here in the left-hand side, I am making it a little bigger for you to see. We have got AI available here. Inside that, we have got Introduction to Machine Learning available. Every university syllabus will be this. There are 11 directories available here. It starts with Introduction to Machine Learning and it ends with Dimensionality Detection. Each of these materials are very clearly covered and given to you for free. You can access it. For example, I'm clicking SVM. There, when I click this PDF, it will get the PDF loaded there, which is prepared by Intel. It's a PPT. So it has the complete material for the topic which is mentioned, and you can use this material. And parallelly, you also have an IPYNB file, which is nothing but the notebook file, where your students can start running the code here. The code samples will be given by Intel, and you can try running it, and everything will be available for you. And you can run it straight without setting up any environment stuff. No pip install, no pip install, that, this, everything is. You can see that now it is enabled clearly. So you are getting into a world where you are getting things easily without spending time on setting up and other stuff. And instead, you can focus more on creative content, more on your creativity, more on your building process, rather than spending time on something which is very preliminary. That's the core aim of this entire dev cloud. So now if you see into GenAI, I'm going to show you one example for the want of time. There is a text to image IPVNB available there, which means that with text as input, I'll be able to generate images. That's all. I have got the code here. The code is based on the stable diffusion model, as I told you some time back. The stable diffusion model is one of the most used, most powerful, easy to access model, which will help me in generating images, or it can help me in generating images through the input image plus text. Now, this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate image with text. I'm going to feed in text prompt as input, and it should get me image back as output. Now you can see this. Each and every line of the code is very well explained with the command line. Sir, I'm a beginner for Gen AI. How do I learn it? As simple as that, go through the comments. We have got comments very clearly available, and it's a very simple way to use. We are using Intel extension for PyTorch, and we have used stable diffusion completely, and this is very easy. Each and every piece of the code is explained fantabulously here. What is the class that we are using? How do we go ahead with the pipelining? What do we optimize? Finally, how do we generate image? Every bit of it is explained. You need to just run the code, and this button in the Jupyter will help you to run the code. Now, once I run the code, I will automatically get the prompt for me, and I can even fine tune this code. Fine tuning is okay for me. Once the code is run, I'll get the prompt. I'm yet to run it. I'll run it once. So once it is all done, you will get the prompt where you can feed in inputs, and with that input, images will be generated. I'm running it right now for you quickly, and it may take half a minute for me to get the output. Please understand, all these are heavy models, so it may take time. And if it doesn't work the first time, don't worry, relaunch it. It should be able to work. All these may take time. And I have generated some creative images already for your reference, and I'll show you a few of them before it gets you the output. Maybe it will be useful for you to see that. I have generated Rohit Sharma with a horse. It may not look like Rohit Sharma exactly, but that's what it is. It's creativity. Stable diffusion will get you creative image generation. Now see this, Rohit Sharma with horse. It may not look exactly like Rohit Sharma, but that's how it is to be generated. Now Sachin Tendulkar will come here. Sachin Tendulkar with trophy. It looks almost like Sachin. Trophy is there. And if there are some Virat Kohli fans here, Virat Kohli with uh, Rahul, KL Rahul I generated. And Virat Kohli with Rajnikant was tried somewhere. I will try to see if this is Virat Kohli with a rose on the mountain. All these are creative, right? You can try generating. I'll just show you Rajnikant Ji because being from South, I think I should show you that. Virat Kohli with Rajnikant. It doesn't look like Rajnikant, but still the style and the charisma that comes with this is really good. So you can try all these. So how do I try it? Only way you have to run the code. That's it. And what the code may take time to run initially. Don't worry. Once it is done, you will be able to get it. Still, it is running. You can see that there is a pipe which is running. So installation complete. This part I think is done. I will just restart the kernel to see if things can be okay. Yeah, now I think it will be faster. It's in progress. So other than this, what are all the examples available? We have got so many samples available, and that goes even with the RAG. The people who are even experts, I have a few experts here whom I know very well. They know even the best of the Gen AI, but for them also RAG is a little difficult topic. So we have got simple RAG implementation, simple LLM inferencing is there. All these examples come at your footsteps, and you can try running these codes, and you'll be able to understand very clearly what is what with these examples. How do I go ahead and run it? What kind of output will come? All those can be realized very easily through these examples. And this is the easiest way someone can really learn things without spending much effort in kind of setting up stuff. There is something happening in the background, I trust. Let me see if I am able to show you the output. Something happening. Maybe the cloud would require some attention. Just wait for 1 minute. Otherwise, I have shown you the output, so that way I think you'll be happy. Just give me 1 minute. And above all this, there is something more that I can talk about quickly before it gets me an output. If there is an issue, I'll let fix it up. But this is the code that you need to run. And I think with this code, you will be able to generate a lot of wonderful stuff. Now, there is something called as AI reference toolkit. Just type in Google the AI reference kit. Now, if you just type it, the first link that you get is the link that takes you to the pre-implemented projects that are available from Intel for you. There are about 30 projects which are available, catering to different domains, code, dataset, everything is available for you. Code, dataset, complete implementation details. You can take the code from Git right away, and all these are available for you. It caters to different domains. So it starts from core engineering, it goes on to multiple other domains that are going to help you out. So please explore this. This is one thing that I would like to tell you. So please explore. There are multiple examples here. You can see that here. Featured kits are available here, and this can cater to different domains, different verticals altogether. And that way, you will get a lot of learning in terms of how do we go ahead with it. Because the models are already built and it is ready for you. You can go ahead and use it right away upfront. Yes. So you can try all this machine learning, deep learning stuff quite easily with Intel Developer Cloud. I think there is some issue with the cloud which I'll try to figure out, and you try it out on your end also. It should be able to work. So all these examples would have definitely helped you in understanding how we can use the cloud, how we can use the AI reference kits mainly. I will just copy paste the link for all this stuff right away in the chat box, and you will be able to get more details straight whenever you want. So console.cloud.intel.com. That's the link which you need to register. This is my channel where I have taught a lot of things on all these as well. And you can click that and you can learn. And if you have any technical queries with respect to using all these, just go ahead and drop an email. Yes, 319. You can reach me out in the email ID that I'm giving here. We'll discuss that offline at intel.com. This is my email ID you can reach. I'm very active on LinkedIn. So you can reach me at Sriram K. Vasudevan at LinkedIn. So I'll respond to you as fast as I can. And with that note, I'd like to thank all the organizers for giving me this opportunity where I can explore and give you insights on Intel Developer Cloud as well as GenAI. Yeah, this is the reason. There is a maintenance that is going on in the cloud. I didn't notice it when I started. So there is a maintenance. That's the reason it did not work. So after some time, once the maintenance is over, you'll be able to get it worked. So try it out after some time, but you can register for the cloud outright and you can try it out. And if you have any questions now, I'll be open to take before I take leave from you. And once again, I thank all the organizers, especially to Ashish ji, for pulling me here. And that was fantastic experience for me personally. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sriramji, for this very informative session and giving a lot of knowledge about the artificial intelligence, generative AI, and the latest tools which are available. And means Intel is we need not have to define what the level of Intel is. So the audience of this session will get the updated information related to the artificial intelligence from the proper resources which you have uh,
Correct.
shared. And with this we also have promised some of the things that the audience can have the some of the or the authors or the students can have some certifications, free certifications and other things, and the faculty members also can have some other certifications related to
Uh,
their level. So I hope you have shared all the information,
no, I
relevant
can talk about
information.
it. I can talk about it for a minute since you
Yeah,
started
yeah,
it.
please go ahead, sir, go
So
ahead.
I forgot it actually. So Intel has got a very interesting community that is working very strongly all over the world. We have got a very, very strong community. So if you're a professor, you can become certified instructor. I've got certified instructors in this group who are doing extraordinarily nice jobs. I've got innovators in this group, the same group of people who have joined here. I've got Intel innovators here. So you can become a certified instructor or innovator. If you have done reasonable amount of work on the AI, you can become innovators. If you want to learn AI, if you're a teacher, you can become certified instructor. And for students, you've got an option to become Intel student ambassador if you are not in your final years. If you are in third year or below, you can definitely become student ambassador. And if you have done one or two projects in AI, right, just push it into Git and reach me. I'll be very happy to assist you. And I have given my email ID already there in the chat. So for the professors who are interested in becoming certified instructors, please reach me through. I can let you know how do you become that. For innovators, I can guide you through the process. So all these things I can definitely do. I've given my email ID and you can use that email ID to reach me out where I can help you. All this will definitely boost your skill set to the next level, and you will also get to work with, get to go along with fellow faculty members from other universities all over the world. And for students, most importantly, this is the greatest of the opportunity. You can interact with fellow colleagues, fellow students from top tier universities all over the world. So in AMA University, we'll have a student ambassador there. That's the way you can learn things easier and faster from there. And all this comes at no cost but at your time. You need to spend time, you need to ensure that you put effective time, and this will certainly come with you for a long way till you end in your career. Ashish, thank you for the remainder.
Yeah. Thank you, Sriram ji. And so we can see the kind of energy level you have, and you are the source of energy. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank
And
you.
so the thing is like that you have a unique profile of being into academics, and now you are on a very good post as far as the industry is concerned. So you are like a bridge for us between the academia, research, and industry. So means we are really very means thanking you to that you accepted our invitation.
My pleasure.
Coincidentally, we talked, and I never means forget to find a good resource for our all the audience, authors, and other things. So thank you so much for this information. So with this, we have already given you the platform where you
Correct.
can join the industry, join the industry related artificial intelligence courses through Intel. And if you have any query, the Sri Ramji has given your email ID, and you can contact us also for more details. So
Correct.
thank you, Sri Ramji. And
Thank you, sir.
now with us, the Jagdish Bansal ji has joined. He is a renowned scientist and professor, and he's working with South Asian University. So I invite Dipanshi to just take the things further. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Our last keynote is Dr. Jagdish Chand Bansal, Associate Professor, South Asia University, Delhi. Dr. Jagdish Chand Bansal is an Associate Professor, Senior Grade at South Asia University, New Delhi, and visiting faculty at Maths and Computer Science, Liverpool, Hope University, UK. He also holds visiting professorship at NIT Goa, India. Dr. Bansal obtained his PhD in mathematics from IIT Roorkee. Before joining SAU New Delhi, he worked as an assistant professor at ABV, Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Gwalior, and BITS Pilani. His primary area of interest is swan intelligence and nature inspiration optimization technique. Recently, he proposed a fission-fusion social structure-based optimization algorithm, spider monkey optimization, which is being applied to various problems in the engineering domain. He has published over 70 research papers in various international journal conferences. He is the section editor of the journal Method published by Elsewhere. He is the senior editor of the four Springer book series AIS, SADIC, ISTC, and SST, published by Springer. He is also associate editor of Engineering Application of Artificial Intelligence and Array published by Elsewhere. He is the General Secretary of the Soft Computing Research Society. He has also received gold medal at UGC and PG level. I invite you, sir.
Thank you, Panshi. Thank you, and thank you, Dr. Ashish, for this wonderful opportunity. And it's nice to see you there. I hope you can hear me.
Thank you, sir. Yes, we can hear you, sir. Thank you for joining, sir, and finding time for us. Thank you so much, sir. Please go
My
ahead, sir.
pleasure. That's my pleasure. As I have shared my screen, you people can see that I'm going to speak on drone swarm. The drone swarm. The drone swarm is relatively a new research area. Very recently, I have become interested in this area. From last 3.5 years, I started exploring the applications of swarm intelligence into the drones. The drones has various applications, not only into the defense, but into the civilian applications as well. So I become interested, particularly the defense related applications. In this talk, I'm going to share what is actually the concept of the drone swarm, why we require the drone swarm, what are the research challenges into the drone swarm, and what are the uh, major communication strategies in the drone swarm. Of course, kind of drone swarm I will share, and the potential application domains where the drone swarm can be applied, I'll share if the time will permit. I'll share also my very recent research, which is published in the Swarm Intelligence Journal on the drone flocking optimization, where I have first time I have utilized the multi-objective optimization for the drone swarm flocking. So the DS for the drone swarm is important because unmanned air vehicles or drones comes in a great diversity. They have the basic framework with their particular specifications. The swarm intelligence itself is important. The combination of the drones and the swarm intelligence can be a great potential for the defense and the civilian related applications. So you may have seen the swarm, the development, the progress of swarm intelligence in last years. Uh, Actually, when I joined my PhD in the swarm intelligence, I could rarely find in India anybody who has started working in the field of swarm intelligence. But now, in almost all the institutes, I can find the researchers dedicated to research in the field of swarm intelligence. So swarm intelligence is, of course, becoming very popular, having the diversified area of applications. Drones is the one thing. So this particular talk is related to the drone swarm. So why the drone swarm? Of course, the military one is the first and foremost application. Uh, However, the civilian application is equally good. Very recently in Tamil Nadu, people have started using the drone swarm for the agriculture purpose. Uh, my recent visit, I have seen one company, Daksha Unmanned Systems, uh, in Tamil Nadu. They are providing this service to the farmers for the drone spray and all. This is the one very fundamental research that have been done for the drone swarm flocking optimization. So this is the one research paper which inspired actually me also to explore this area of research. So I just quickly tell you about this. And this is the real video. This is the real video of the swarms. You can see that these are the drones which are which are flying autonomously. There is nobody who is controlling them. There are total 30 drones. They are maintaining a certain distance between and without any collision, they are flying. They are making consensus with each other. And they are reaching at the particular location. They are accomplishing certain tasks. So all this operation is autonomous. The drone swarm consists of all these kind of research. As you can see in this video, the flocking of the drones is inspired by the fish schooling or the birds flocking behavior, how the birds cooperate with each other, how the birds share the information with each other. The same way, the drones share the information with each other. And you can see here that the task of flocking of the drones is not that easy. It's a very complex task because uh, if there are 50 birds, they are flocking together, then the number of operations that are being executed per second is actually sometimes cannot be handled by even a supercomputer. So, the information sharing and taking the decision accordingly, decision making based on the information gathered from the remaining 49 individuals in the swarm is actually the one of the most important, most complex task. So the optimization appears here where the uh, information sharing can be optimized in such a way that with the minimum information sharing, the maximum possible and the best possible decision can be taken. Of course, the same idea is to be implemented with the drones. So you can see here that okay, uh, usually the drone swarm are applied into a region of interest. We call it ROI. So this ROI is determined by the GPS walls. So these are, of course, the virtual walls within which the drone swarms carry out their operations. Okay. So when I joined this research in year 2018, actually in 2000 November 18, the first time I came into this word drone swarm. And at that time, I searched the literature a lot, and there I could not find even a perfect definition for the drone swarm. Then I thought that let's define what the drone swarm is. So I wrote this one-line sentence for the formal definition of the drone swarm. So now it is an established definition of the drone swarm. It is an interacting autonomous group of drones assigned to perform a or some tasks. Actually, drone swarm is a group of drones, and any group of drones cannot be considered as a drone swarm when all the drones are connected with each other via direct or indirect. But the drones in the group, all the drones must be connected with each other. They should be able to accomplish all the tasks autonomously. Of course, there should not be any kind of external control or the control from the GCS. And they should be able to perform one or more tasks for which they are designed. For example, if the drone is for defense, then they can do accordingly. And if they are for the agriculture drones, then they can do that job. If they are surveillance drones, they are inspection drones, they can do accordingly. Okay. The objective of drone swarm is to develop a drone swarm is not just an entity, it's just not an algorithm, it's a complete system uh, which not only consists of the hardware, but the communication, but the algorithm on board, algorithm of the communication, algorithm on the GCS, right? So it's a complete autonomous system. And this autonomous system consists of the drones, typically 30 or more drones works good. I did a research on the number of minimum drones required to accomplish a certain task also. I wrote a blog also on this. You can Google it with my name and the drone swarm. There I proved that the minimum number of drones required for the swarm intelligence is 10. So theoretically, I found it actually 12, and experimentally, I found it 10. So usually we can give it uh, 10, a rough idea of 10 drones minimum required for the for having the intelligence among the drones. So, but that doesn't mean that 10 will serve the purpose. So usually, in order to have the most optimum, most efficient solution from the drone swarm, 30 or more drones are actually required. Next thing is the connections among them, how they are connected with each other, how they are sharing the information with each other. Uh, Highly connected structure may be very time consuming. The swarm may be very slow. The performance of the overall swarm will be slow. But if it is least connected, which is the spanning tree, minimum spanning tree, if the connection we are following using the minimum spanning tree, then the robustness is compromised. So actually, it's a problem. Uh, both the objectives are contradicting to each other: the robustness and the speed. The efficiency and the robustness in the drone swarm are actually the contradicting objectives, and therefore it's a big challenge for the researchers to develop one communication topology among the drones so that they can share the information in minimum possible time with highest efficiency, and simultaneously your uh, uh, robustness is also maintained. The third is that the drone swarm should be able to perform one or some other task, a well-defined task. Of course, if you have a drone which can perform more than one task simultaneously, it's a great thing. But at this moment, this technology is not available because the battery, the endurance of the drones is a big challenge. If you increase the battery size, if you want to increase the endurance, the weight increases, and then the payload capacity of the drones significantly decreases. So the payload carrying capacity and the endurance are again the conflicting objectives with each other. So uh, so usually the drones are developed, are made for the for a particular task. Uh, the swarms should be okay. The classification of the drone swarm, drones swarm can be classified broadly into two types of two categories in the two ways. One is the fully autonomous system and another is the semi-autonomous system. Theoretically, ideally, the drone swarm should be fully autonomous system where there is no control, no during the operations, there should not be any external control from the GCS or from the operator side. But usually this kind of system is not that robust. We are extremely dependent on the different kind of sensors, and a single sensor failure can create the chaos. And therefore, nowadays, in practice, system is a semi-autonomous system where you are controlling certain drones and those drones are controlling other drones. So it's a master slave kind of concept where you are controlling one master drone, or you may call it ADR, which is flying slightly higher altitude, and the other drones are flying at lower altitude at for accomplish that particular task. So this in that case we call it multi-layered drone swarm system also, where one layer is of the master drones, another layer is for the uh, slave drones. But in actual applications, we want a system where all the drones are fully autonomous, a single layered fully autonomous system we require theoretically. And actually the research is going on in the development of a perfect or more robust sensors. The more robust sensor integration. So sensor integration is again a challenge, let me tell you. Uh, these not only the hardware but the algorithm to integrate different kind of sensors so that the ultimate output coming from a single drone shared to another drone can be the most optimized. So here is the one how the drones update its position. So the new position is the combination of the old position and the new information. This H is the information. Here H I call the information gathered from the other remaining members of the swarm. So the new position equal to the old position plus the information. So this information can be in different formats, can be processed differently, and the algorithm to algorithm, how you are going to write this information H varies. So algorithm to algorithm, this information varies. I'm writing one possible solution for this. This is H may be this T xg minus x. This T may be the step size that if I got information from another drones, if one drone gets the information from another drone, then how much believe this drone should do on that information. So this T is actually the coefficient of the confidence into the information received, and this confidence may not be 100% because the other drones may be committing some mistake, and the cognitive knowledge plays here the role, and therefore the T is the weight or is the confidence level to other drones. Xg is the best possible information received, and minus x. So it's a vector equation. It's a vector. Xg minus x is a vector. Xg vector. Xg vector means x moving towards xg. So in the vector form, it is written xg minus x. Here I mentioned those who are interested in the research into the drone swarm. I mentioned some important challenges, some important problems where you people can explore this area of research. The one most important challenge is the topology of communication. Topology of communication means how they are going to communicate. I already told you that the fully connected structure is very slow. The least connected structure, that is a minimum spanning tree, is not robust, and therefore we need to develop different kind of other mathematical topologies which can help in balancing the robustness and the efficiency simultaneously. Von Neumann Von Neumann topology is the one solution many researchers have used. This von Neumann communication topology, some people have used the ring topology also. For ring topology means you are connected with the nearest neighbors only. Next challenge is the minimum number of drones required to implement the proposed strategy. So this minimum number of drones actually varies situation to situation. The There may be a situation that you are going to search a particular location in 1 by 1 kilometer area. Then what is the minimum number of drones required? Suppose you want to search the same thing into 10 by 10 kilometer area autonomously, then how many and in a given time, that in the task is to be completed within 30 minutes, then what is the minimum number of drones required? If it is 1 hour, then what is the minimum number of drones required? So for the given situation, for the given time, in overall for the given problem, what is the minimum swarm size? Because the number of drones in the swarm uh, costs, if you can accomplish the same task in the 10 drones, then there is no meaning of including the 15 drones in the same swarm. You can provide cost effective solution in that way. The another major challenge is the maximum and minimum distances. When during the operation, when the drones are moving, the minimum and maximum distance, if the distance is too close, with a certain speed they are flying, usually the operations are carried out in the 14 meter per second. With the speed of 14 meter per second, the operations are carried out. So uh, they are if they are moving at 14 meter per second, the distance is too close, then they can collide with each other, because sometimes the processing at particular one drone's onboard computer may be slow. At that time, they can collide with each other. So there should be some minimum distance to be maintained. Another thing is the maximum distance. If the distance is too large, if I say that the minimum is to be maintained, you can say that it can be quite large. If it is too large, then there is a chance that the connection may be lost, because in the ad hoc network they are moving. In a particular ad hoc network, local network, they are moving, they are connected with each other. That connection may be lost, and therefore the maximum distance also a matter, that for the given number of drones, for the given ad hoc network, for the given configuration of the drones, what is the maximum distance and what is the minimum distance. So this is again a matter of research. Another is the self-healing. This is particularly important issue for the defense related applications, where suppose you are sending 100 drones for a particular mission, and you are not the only one who is sending, your enemy is there. So in between, suppose uh, he could down your 50 drones. Now you have only the 50 drones at that particular location where the actual operation is to be carried out. In that case, how these remaining 50 drones can do the job of original job that is being done by 100 drones. So self-healing, now they have to decide the region allocated to them. They have to decide the communication among them. Everything is to be done autonomously at that particular moment. Another is the GPS denied environment, and this is more related to the hardware actually. In the GPS denied environments, the things are uh, uh, to be executed without GPS connection, without actually the satellite inputs. So the drone swarms are actually applied to various scenarios, various landscapes. Uh, the swarm does not have prior knowledge of the target, and if the target is moving, and if the given area is irregular area, I communication strategies I already shared. The application areas, drone swarm has a myriads of applications. Security, of course, is the one. Survey, monitoring, surveillance. You can see that nowadays the gas pipeline survey, the electricity line survey, all these surveys are being done by the drones. Monitoring, a continuous monitoring system can be developed on the borders using the drones. Tethered drones are actually the future of the continuous monitoring system, where the drone is continuously powered from a tethering device on the ground. So another is this HADR scenario, human assistance and disaster relief scenario, where suppose there is a avalanche, suppose there is a flood, fire broke, any such situations where the humans' life are on stake, human survivors are there, then drones can be sent, the first savior and can at least drop some relief material to that particular location. They can identify, they can search the survivors in that particular location. So disaster management is another most important area of application for the drones. Search and rescue, of course, is the one. UAVs, there are many different kind of UAVs are coming up. Quadcopter are the most famous. Of course, if you are dealing with the more payload carrying, then octocopter, hexacopter are good, but quadcopter are the most common one. Fixed wing is the one for if you are dealing with some problems where you require the high speed, then fixed wing is good. If you do not have the runway, then you can go ahead with the fixed wing hybrid. So vertical VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing, and then the forward flying maybe with the fixed wing. So these hybrid actually are being very famous nowadays, hybrid things, because here they are providing the facility of uh, vertical takeoff and landing without any runway. They can take off, they can land, and the speed they can maintain as the fixed wing can manage. So multi-rotor has the lesser speed, fixed wing has the higher speed. Okay. So the future, talking about the future, actually the future is very bright. The future of the drone swarm in India is also very bright. In India nowadays, hundreds of the startups are being opened in the field of the drones. The government of India is also developing ecosystem for the drones, various defense agencies, Air Force, Army, Navy, everybody is after the drones. So the future is very bright. If you want to do research in this area, it's a one must-have research area. So this is the one very recent research which I did with my two another colleagues from the Liverpool Hope University on the drone flocking optimization using NSGA2. NSGA2 is a well-established multi-objective optimization algorithm, and the PCA for the principal component analysis. This is the first time when we reduce the number of objectives from 6 to 2 using the principal component analysis. Actually, we do not have the sufficient time to explain this research. I suggest you people just Google about this research, drone flocking optimization using NSJ2, or just go to my webpage. I have uploaded the PDF of this research, and the related simulation videos are also available in the links of the simulation videos on the YouTube I given in the research paper. Research papers PDF is freely available. You can go with this research and can explore further. And if you have any doubt, I'll be available on the email. Please do write to me. Thank you so much. I have to stop here. Thank you so much, Dr. Asis.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for this informative session on drone technologies. And yesterday we were into computing, and today, communication. And today we learned a lot of about computing. So with this, we have very renowned researchers from academia and industry. With this, we if anyone has any questions, they can ask. If you have any question, you can just type it in the chat section. So if you have any question, please you can type the same in the chat section.
Actually, it's a challenge to the last speaker. By the time people are exhausted.
No, still we are maintaining a good number of
Yeah, I saw that.
audience.
Dr. Asis, I
Yes,
really
yes,
appreciate that 151
yes.
are there. Yeah, I really appreciate.
So we have very obedient audience with us who are with us. Okay, so I invite Rishi sir. He is with us for vote of thanks. Rishi sir, are you with us?
Yeah. I am very much there, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, please, sir.
I hope I am visible and audible, although not very
Yes, sir.
clearly, because most of the participants are at home. So please pardon me. So there are lots of disturbance at home. Yeah. So let me express a formal vote of thanks for the conference. So very good afternoon to all of you, all the participants, all the dignitaries, all the keynote speakers. I can see Jagdish Bansal is there, Dr. Jagdish Bansal. So I'm not sure whether Jagdish recalls or not. In 2005, we had attended a 20 days workshop in IIT Roorkee. Oh, sorry, IIT Kanpur, Joydeep Datta.
Uh,
Jagdish, do you recall?
yes, I do remember. I
Oh,
do
so
remember,
I was
and I was
also
doing
there,
PhD at
and I
that.
was one of the participants. I recall many of the names,
Arre,
Manoj, Jagdish, and many more.
Manoj, KP
So
Singh was there. Kedarnath Das was there.
right, Kedar, yeah.
Yes, I do remember.
So it's truly a
Yeah,
personal
great.
privilege for me to
Great
be
to be
here
here
in this
afterwards.
session and listen to your session. It was really full of information, and maybe you won't surprise if in future I work on drone swarm because I found this concept very interesting.
Well, that will be
Yeah,
the objective of talks in the conferences.
yeah. So let me begin by thanking the host institutions, Syed Sukhdev College of Business Studies, University of Valladolid, Spain, and NIT Patna. As you all know that this was the seventh edition of the conference, and there were many people who played a key role in making this conference a grand success. So maybe I'll forget few names, but please pardon me. I should begin by expressing sincere gratitude to the principal of Syed Sukhdev College of Business Studies, Professor Poonam Verma, and all the faculty members of the college who worked very hard in making the conference a grand success. I also express my gratitude to Professor Prabhat and IT Patna, who was physically also there yesterday, and Professor Oscar Castillo from Mexico. Sincerest gratitude to Honorable Chairs Professor Jansus and Professor Vaclav, Czech Republic. I also express a heartfelt thanks to conference chairs Professor Abul Hasnain from Egypt and Professor Rodrigues from Brazil, and also Professor R.K. Agrawal from Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi. Sincere thanks goes to TPC chairs Professor A.K. Singh, NIT Kurukshetra, and Professor Anil Kehlawat, KIET Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad. I humbly thank Editorial Chair Professor Abhishek Saru for Bhagwan Parshuram Institute of Technology and Professor Arun Sharma, IGDTU, Delhi. Special thanks goes to Publication Chairs Dr. Vincent Garcia from Spain and Dr. Deepak Gupta from Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Technology, Delhi. Let me thank joint conveners of the conference, Professor Ajay Jaiswal, Professor Samir Anand, and Professor Ashish Khanna. Professor Ashish Khanna also happens to be the secretary of the conference. They are truly the pillar of the conference. So I have seen them working very hard in last 5 to 6 edition of the conference. They are the real pillar of the conference. Let me not forget to express thanks to Dr. Mulchand, Dr. Amrina, Dr. Kumar Vijay, Dr. Mona, Mr. Tushar Marwa, Mr. Abhimanyu, who really worked very hard to make this conference a grand success. Last but not the least, I must not forget to mention all the participants, all the dignitaries, and yes, the keynote speakers. Yesterday, one of the participants said that a conference is known by the kind of researchers participate and the kind of keynote speakers. So I can truly say that the kind of keynote speakers turned up right from Professor Balvirde, who spoke on 6G, and the last speaker of the session, Dr. Jagdish Chand Bansal, who spoke on drone swarm. All of these topics were state of the art, very relevant, futuristic in nature, and I'm very sure that all the participants will take the concept that they learned very far. Personally, I also got very benefited immensely. I should also thank all the student volunteers who worked day and night to make this conference a grand success. And I also thank God who always blessed us in all respect. So thank you very much. Thank you all the participants. Uh, I wish that similar kind of collaboration will continue in future. Thank you so much. I think with this, we can leave the session.
Thank you, Rishi sir, for this thanks session. So I invite the anchor to take the role further.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request everyone to turn on the cameras for the photograph. Everyone is requested to turn on their cameras for a group photograph. All the authors are also requested to turn on the cameras.
And you all can smile also. So I think the technical team has taken the photograph. So thanks again to all of you, all the authors, session chairs, and the student teams, the attendees, everyone, the teams from NIT Patna, Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies, University of Valladolid, Spain, media, and I thanks to all of you for joining this conference and making this edition of the conference and another success. And I hope we all will continue in the successive years. So thank you so much for joining. And with this, we end this conference, and remaining all the communication will be made through email. Thank you so much for joining. You all can leave the conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I can see some faces speaking. So thank you so much for everything and for joining the conference.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The admin can close the session.
Thank you, sir.